Hey guys, it's Gianna, Midwifay. Today I wanted to talk about what to pack in your hospital bag. I think a lot of times as people are preparing, going down the to-do list to get ready for a baby, so many people want to know, what do I need to include in my hospital bag? So I wanted to talk about it. Let's get into it. For this video, I'm going to group items into different categories, and I'll have a timestamp where you can go and see, specifically for which category you're looking for. When I say category, I mean items you need for the actual birth itself, for the postpartum period, what you need for mom and baby, what you might need for other responsibilities at home, your other kiddos, your pets, plants, whatever you might have. And then also I'm going to include some things that I see a lot that I feel are probably unnecessary, you don't need to pack, and then other items that I see that are often forgotten. So let's first start with items for the birth. I first want to encourage you to make sure to pack whatever personalized items you have. Some people have personalized gowns and robes. If that's what you want, that's great. Make sure that you're okay with it getting kind of birth messy, if you know what I mean. A music playlist that you might have created with your partner for different songs and things you want to listen to in labor, different aromatherapies, fake candles. I stress fake because you cannot have open flames in a hospital. That's a fire hazard. So any kind of personalized items that you want to have with you for your birth, make sure you for sure pack that. Other category of items that you want to include for the birth portion of your hospital stay would be, what coping items do you want to have while in labor? This would include things like a birth stool, birthing balls, peanut balls, TENS unit, heat packs, etc. Now, before you go on Amazon and buy all of those things, I want you to consider two things first. One, check with your hospital facility. A lot of hospitals have a plethora of birthing balls, peanut balls. Some even have stools, mirrors. Some offer hot packs, some have rooms with tubs, some don't. So definitely check with your facility so that you don't have to buy all these things and show up with all of these unnecessary equipment with you. Another thing to consider when packing your bag, if you have a doula, which I strongly recommend, your doula might have a lot of this equipment and might provide it. She will let you know when you have your visits while you're still pregnant, what items she has that you might want to have at your birth. So again, no need to go online and buy all this stuff right now if your doula has it or if your hospital has it, but for sure check in to see what is available to you and what you might want to use while you're in labor. If the hospital doesn't have it and or your doula, or you don't have a doula, be sure to bring that with you. Snacks and food for yourself and your partner. Obviously, you want to know your hospital's rules on eating and drinking in labor. Shameless plug for that there, but making sure that you have different snacks, nutritionally dense snacks, and even drinks, especially clear liquids. Most hospitals allow clear liquids in labor, so not just having the ice chips and water from the hospital. What kind of things I've seen people bring: coconut water, bone broth, different things that are considered clear-ish liquids that can provide nutrition for you while you're in labor. Also for your partner to have snacks, especially if you guys follow any strict diets or have any specific restrictions, make sure that you bring snacks and even meals for yourselves if you need to. The last thing I want to mention that are sometimes included in your birth bag is your hospital records. Depending on your practice, some practices give you your records, print them out and give them to you at around 36 weeks and say, here, put them in an envelope, you'll bring them with you to the hospital. Some practices have like a card where they fill in pertinent information like your due date, your blood type, your strep B results, etc. So, make sure to make a copy of any of that as it's updated throughout your pregnancy and put that in your birth bag if your practice does that. One important point I want to make about your hospital bag is that you do not need to bring it with you right to triage, okay? Most of these items, you'll need in labor and definitely on the postpartum unit. So if you're in labor and things are really going fast and your partner's coming with you, I don't want your partner to be focused on like grabbing the bag and making sure that we have everything, because you can leave that in the car, go to triage, get checked out, get admitted. do what you need to do and then go back to your bag. So you don't need to show up to labor and delivery, to triage right away with all of these items in hand. I just want to say that. Now let's get into some mom and baby items after the birth. A general postpartum hospital stay is somewhere between 2 to 3 nights. So you're going to want to make sure that you have enough stuff for that amount of time. For you as mom, and we have in the hospital all of the medical things you might need. So, you prenatal vitamins, ibuprofen, other pain meds, Tux pads, witch hazel pads for your bottom, other items for peri-care, mesh undies. Girl, you're gonna have your mesh undies look real postpartum in those. We supply all of those basic things. We also supply basic toiletries, some hospital brand toothpaste, mouthwash, a toothbrush. So we do have basic things if you forgot something like that. However, I always encourage you to pack any toiletries you cannot live without. If you have a specific skin regimen and serum or any prescriptions that you might have, definitely make sure to bring those with you. In terms of clothes, make sure you bring a comfortable outfit for you to spend those 2-3 days on the postpartum unit, particularly if you plan on breastfeeding. Maybe a nursing tank top, nursing gown, things with easy access to the ladies so that you can feed baby. Just make sure you have comfortable clothes to wear while you're in the hospital and to go home in. I'd say 2 to 3 outfits max. I don't think you need more than that. Now for baby, the hospital also provides basic needs for baby. So diapers, onesies, just kind of plain white onesies and hats for baby. There's formula there. Just a lot of the things that you need for basic cares for baby, the hospital has. What I encourage you to bring for baby is if you have specific outfits, if you're going to do a newborn photo shoot in the hospital, specific outfits for baby that you want, definitely an outfit for baby to go home in. Again, baby only needs maybe 2 to 3 outfits, as the same as mom. And don't forget your partner. You never know what was going to happen at the birth. It might require that your hubby stay with you longer than we thought. And so I made sure with both of the births to pack just a change of clothes for Evan, a pair of boxers for him, some toiletries for him too. So always have that as well. Now that we've talked about birth and mom and baby hospital items, let's talk about what responsibilities outside of the hospital you have. Your other kiddos, maybe, your pets, your plants, whatever you have, make sure you have a plan for them as well. I strongly encourage at 35, 36 weeks, you have your hospital go bag ready with the things that I talked about, and your toddlers or other kids' hospital go bag ready right next to it, okay? And that has enough diapers, undies, clothes, snacks, whatever it might be for 2 or 3 days potentially as well for the other kids. If you have fur babies or plants, make sure that you have plans set for them. If they have any medications, make sure that you have, again, all of that laid out in some area of your home that is for when I am in the hospital. This area is where you go to get the bags for the babies, the medicines for the dogs, the leash for the dogs, whatever it might be. Let's talk about some items that I've seen a lot that I found to be pretty unnecessary when packing your hospital bag. Things like a sound machine. Sound machines are great. I've used them with both of my kids, but you don't need it while you're in the hospital during those first 2 or 3 nights. Generally, you're not doing any sleep training at that time. Other things that people bring, the car seat. Again, when people show up in triage with their bag and their car seat, you don't need to do that. Your car seat is only needed when you're discharged from the hospital, so you don't need to bring it with you on that first date when you show up in labor. Another big category of unnecessary supplies is breast pumps and breastfeeding accoutrement. I know there is a lot on the market out there for breastfeeding mamas and to help us support us in that journey, and that's great. Again, I myself have a lot of these things, but you don't need to bring it to the hospital. The hospital has hospital grade pumps. We have different nipple creams and ointments. The lactation consultants that often hospitals have also have a plethora of resources available to you while you're there. So, you don't need to pack those things with you. Other things I see people bring a lot that aren't used is a lot of their peri-care items. Again, the hospital has all the sprays and pads and all of that stuff that you might need, your peri bottle. And I know that there are other peri supplies that you can buy through different companies, and I'm not saying anything against them. I think a lot of them are great, but you don't need to bring that to the hospital with you because the hospital has that. Also, like pad sickles that you might make for postpartum. Again, I think they're a great idea. A lot of women love them. You don't necessarily need to bring those to the hospital with you because the hospital has their own version of those things. And lastly, I would just encourage you not to bring so many clothes. I think that we think that we're gonna do all these different photo shoots and we want all the options because we don't know what we're going to want to wear, and I get that. And I even, fell victim to that with my first son's birth. But we really only need 2 to 3 outfits with us for those couple of days while we're in the hospital to make sure we're comfortable and we're resting. That's really our job, is to rest while we're in the hospital. So you don't need multiple changes of clothes. Baby doesn't need multiple changes of clothes. Although yes, baby's clothes will probably get messy, the hospital has those onesies and things for baby to wear while you're there. Now to things that I think are sometimes missing in your hospital bag. I would say a breastfeeding pillow of some sort. Again, some hospitals and lactation provider teams do provide these while you're on postpartum, but a lot don't. So if yours doesn't, I would encourage a Bobby pillow or a breast friend, some form of nursing pillow to kind of help get baby in a great position for feeding if you plan to breastfeed. Yes, you can maneuver hospital pillows in whatever position you need to feed your baby, especially experienced mamas. We've all done that. However, a lot of those breastfeeding pillows do work really well at getting a good position for baby to encourage a great latch. So if your hospital doesn't provide that on the postpartum unit, I think that would be a good thing for you to bring in your hospital bag. The other thing that I see people forget a lot, believe it or not, is chargers. Because chargers, for your phone, your laptop, your tablet, whatever it might bring, we keep them plugged into the wall. And so I think a lot of times people forget to pack them at the last minute. So I encourage you to put them in the bag beforehand. Maybe have some extras so that you don't have to remember to run through the house and unplug them from the wall to put them in your bag. All right, that was that. That was my guide of what to put in your hospital bag. I hope you found it to be helpful. Again, my thing is really less is more. Check with your hospital and facility first to see what they provide for you. Check with, if you have, a doula or whatever support person, what are they going to bring and provide, so that you can minimize the stress on you on what you need to pack with you. Don't forget about your babies, your other babies, your fur babies. Make sure that there's a go bag for them as well. And just again, focus on the excitement of meeting your baby. If all else fails and you have not made your hospital bag, the hospital has 99% of the things that you will need until you can go get your stuff. If you like this video, please comment down below, and better yet, share with another mama who needs to know this information. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.